So do we say that, look, the P'tur from Ola V'Yored is only when he's actively serving his king? Now that he's not serving his king, he does bring a carbon Ola V'Yored. Or do we say, no, kind of once a king, always a king? And even though we can't rule right now, and we'll discuss the parameters of that, Lemaisa, again, he does bring a carbon Ola V'Yored. So Amarle, so this, he said to him, Dilach o de Gaza. Tell me, when they go ahead and they bring a carbon Ola V'Yored, do you bring it from your own money, or do they bring it ultimately again from someone else's money? So we'll say essentially what he answers is the king, even when he no longer serves in the official capacity as king, still has the wealth that he acquired ultimately again as a result of his monarchical station. That wealth stays with him even when he's no longer actively serving as king. If you remember again, part of the P'tur of Ola V'Yored that we saw in the end of yesterday's daf was that only someone who could experience both poverty and wealth brings carbon Ola V'Yored. Someone who has the inability to experience poverty ultimately does not bring the carbon. Essentially, the Gemara answers is, even if the king contracts saras and therefore can no longer actively serve as king, because he still has the monarchical wealth, he'll never experience poverty. Because he doesn't experience poverty, therefore, again, halacha l'maisa, he goes in and does not bring a carbon Ola V'Yored. Good. Tanya. Rabbi Kiva or Mashiach pater mikulan. Rabbi Kiva says, the Kohen Mashiach, right, the Kohen Mashiach, the anointed Kohen Gadol, he is pater from everything. He is pater from Kulan. Look at Rashi. So the Gemara says, Rabbi Kiva or Mashiach pater from Kulan. Mikarbon Ola V'Yored, Dichsiv, Zeh Karban Aaron Obanav, V'yom Mashach Hosa, Sira Seifa, Dainu Chavite Kohen Mashiach, Chavitin Ba'olo Choven, Ve'in Acheres Ba'olo, Da'asira Sa'efa Ola V'Yored, Lo Ba'olo Chova, Hilchach pater Mikulam, Me Ola V'Yored. So we'll say, ultimately, Rabbi Kiva says, and so too the Mashuach Melchama, the Kohen who was anointed, also is pater from every single carbon Ola V'Yored. Amar Rava says, my time of Rabbi Akiva. What's Rabbi Akiva's logic? Why would the Kohen be pater from the carbon Ola V'Yored? Amar Kra, Zeh carbon Aaron Obanav. So we'll say Zeh refers to what Rashi points out as the Chavite Kohen Mashiach, right? The Chavite, which we'll say was the special meal offering of the Kohen Gadol. It is only that carbon, which I will say, you see, normally meal offerings are part of the carbon Ola V'Yored spectrum. So I might have thought, the Havamim that this Gemara operates with, I will say, is I might have thought that since the Kohen brings this Chavitim, therefore what? Therefore, halacha l'maisa, he is subject to the laws of Ola V'Yored. The Gemara therefore teaches me that it is only dafka, this particular carbon, this particular Ola V'Yored, that the Kohen brings, but no other Ola V'Yored does he bring. So the Gemara says, Zeh carbon Aaron Obanav, Zu Ba'al Chovalo, Ve'in Acheres Ba'al Chovalo. It is only this Chavitim, I will say, which is this less expensive carbon that is brought by Aaron and his sons, but other carbon Ola V'Yored are not brought by the Kohanim, or the Kohen Mashuach, I should say. So I'll say, maybe again, when the Torah goes out and says that the Kohen Gadol doesn't bring an Ola V'Yored, that's only Dali Dallas. So I'll say, that's only what? That's only the quote-unquote cheapest carbon on the Ola V'Yored spectrum. Umayni, you have Sira Sa'ifa. And I will say that's the Asira Sa'ifa, which uniquely enough, which is the cheapest carbon available on the carbonic spectrum. Aval anius va'ashirus lo mi'ati rachmana. But obviously, again, from the one step up, and obviously the more expensive carbonos, maybe a Kohen can bring even from an Ola V'Yored. To which the Gemara says, "Lo sa'adayt chadichsiv v'chiper alav ha'kohen achata sa'asher chata me'achos me'ila." Ultimately, again, the pasuk says, and the Kohen will go ahead and be mechaper on this. Asher chata me'achos me'ila. Ultimately, again, that he achieved atonement from one of these. Hamiskaper ba'achos, miskaper bekulon. One who could achieve kapara basa with any Ola V'Yored, ultimately again achieves kapara with all of them. V'she'in miskaper ba'achos, and one ultimately again who does not achieve kapara with one of them, ein miskaper bekulon, does not achieve kapara with all of them. So also, in other words, in order to be in the parsha of Ola V'Yored, you have to have the ability to achieve kapara with any type of Ola V'Yored. Once you are excluded from certain types of Ola V'Yored, then you're out. But yet you're going to make the same drush over here by the pasuk, when the pasuk says, and it will be if he becomes liable to one of these. Hachanami techalam mischayi be'achas mischayi bekulon v'shein mischayi be'achas in mischayi bekulon. But I'm going to say again, I will say that the same halacha applies over here. That ultimately, only if you can bring any of these that ultimately, again, you'll be chayiv in all of them. But if you can't bring all of them, then you're not chayiv in any of them. If that's the case, Alama Tanan Rabbi Akiva, Alama Tanan, if that's the case, why does it say Rabbi Akiva Omer Nasi chayiv chutz mishmias kol? Yet the most say Rabbi Akiva holds, we saw this in the previous Mishnah, that the Nasi is chayiv in these karbanos with the exception of shmias kol, which Rabbi say refers to the case where somebody goes ahead and takes an oath that they don't know edus, when in fact they do know edus. Sabai v'Rav Damitar Bayu me'achos mashmalei le'achos lo mashmalei. To which Abaye says it's two different drashas. They make the drasha from me'achos, but not the drasha from le'achos. Umayshna me'achos dimashmalei. Why would me'achos be proper wording for the drasha, not la'achos? The kasi rachmana lebasof gabi asira seifa. Because they will say that lashon of me'achos is written in the section immediately following the asira seifa. The memra to teach us the chol du mechayib asira seifa mechayib bekulan. To teach us about that whoever is chayiv in the asira seifa, which Rabbi say refers to the cheapest carbon, though I should say the most inexpensive carbon a person could bring on the Ola V'Yored spectrum. Whoever could bring an asira saifa is subject to the other Ola V'Yored carbonos. So the Gemara says, because if at the end of the day, again, Abosai, you would say, if you would hold that mischai ba'achos, that you can be chayv in one of them, even if you are not chayv in all of them, nichtevei lahai me'achos me'ela bedalos, inami ba'ashirus. So Abosai, interestingly enough, this me'achos drasha, which tells us that in order to be chayv in carbon ola v'yored, you have to have the ability to bring any ola v'yored, is dafka written by the asira sa'ifa, which is the cheapest of the karbanos. If the Torah wanted to tell me that it's enough to be chayiv in any one of the karbanos, then it should have written it either not by the cheapest, but either one step up or by the most expensive. The fact that it dafka writes it, the drasha word me'achos, at the most inexpensive carbon, tells me that what? That halacha l'maisa only from chayiv in any of the Ola V'Yoreds, am I chayiv in all of the Ola V'Yoreds? Okay, says the Gemara Mishnah. We'll say new Mishnah. Kol mitzvos sheva Torah shechayav azdon karsal shigas and chatos. So I'll say any time, any mitzvah in the Torah whose intentional violation would come with the chiyuv kares, and therefore unintentional violation comes with the chiyuv chatos. So we'll say those are usually sister concepts. If the bemezid would be an iser kares, the shokik would be a chatos. So what's the halacha? I will say hayochid maybe kisba usiira. The individual will say if he violated any one of these averos, would bring for his carbon either a kesev or an aiz, either a sheep or a goat. We'll say it doesn't mean a sheep and a goat; it means it's or sheep or a goat. Vahanasi. So I will say if the king commits an avera like this, soyer, he brings a seer. Umashiach, and if the kohen gadol commits an avera like this, ubezdin, or the bezdin paskins erroneously regarding this type of halacha, mevi and par. Then I both say they bring a par. That's their unique carbon. Let's go, Chavim. Both say what happens again if there's an inadvertent worshipping of Avodah Zarah that occurs. So what happens? Hayochid v'hanasi v'mashiach mevi and seira. So the individual, the king, the Mashiach, all bring a seer. Ubezdin par the soyer. And Bezdin has to bring a par and a soyer. Par la'ola, they bring a par for an ola. Useir lechatos, and they bring a seer for a chatos. Asham taloi. I say Asham taloi. I'm sorry. Useir lechatos. I lost the place here. Useir lechatos. Asham taloi. Hayochid v'anasi chayavin. So we'll say, what about the case of Asham taloi? So remember again, we touched on Asham taloi yesterday. Asham taloi, we'll say, is a person committed an avera that, let me see differently. A person may have committed an avera whose intentional violation would be a chiyuv kares, and unintentional violation would be a chiyuv chatos. The difference in this case is I'm not sure. I may have violated. So we'll say, who brings in Asham Taloi? Hayochid v'anasi chayavin. So both an individual and the king can bring in Asham Taloi, but umashiach who based in Peturin. The Rabbi said the Kohen Gadol and the Bezdin do not bring in Asham Taloi. Asham Vadai. We'll say, what about a Vadai Asham? Hayochid v'anasi v'mashiach chayavin. So the Yochid, the Nasi, the Mashiach all have to bring it. Who Bezdin Peturin. And Bezdin is Pater. Al Shmiya Sakol. We'll say, what about Shmiya Sakol? V'al Bitoy Svasayim. V'al Tumas Mikdash V'Kadash. So we had these three cases yesterday. So Shmiya Sakol, we'll say, means that a person, Reuven asks me if I know edus for him about a particular issue. I say no. He says swear. I swear, and it ends up being falsely. Or I will say bitoy sasayim just means a general false oath. Tumas mikdash v'kadashav means any either passing. Tumas mikdash means entering into the Beis Hamikdash in a state of ritual impurity. So I will say in any of these cases, if Beis Din paskin erroneously, Beis Din pturin, so there is no chiyuv for Beis Din in these types of situations. V'hayochid v'hanasi v'mashiach hayavin. But obviously, if an individual or the king or the kohen gadol transgress any of these things, chayavin. Ultimately, they're chayiv. Elo she'in kohen gadol mashiach chayiv al tumas mikdash v'kadash of divrei Rabbi Shimon. I will say, interesting enough, Rabbi Shimon holds that the kohen gadol is not chayiv for tumas mikdash v'kadash. We will see the reason for that. You will see the reason for that. Yeah, okay. Rashi gets into our fine. We'll leave it for later. Umahim Levin, I will say what type of carbon do they bring under these circumstances? So carbon ola vioret. Ultimately, I will say they bring what we call a variable carbon, right? A carbon whose value changes based on your own financial state. Rabbi Eliezer Omer Hanasi may be seer. But also says in this case, the nasi ultimately again brings a seer. Good. We'll say says the Gemara. Tanya. Rabbi Shimon Hayanos and Klal. We'll say Rabbi Shimon gives a klal that kind of sums up Mishnah in its entirety. What's the klal? Kol sha'yochid ba'asham talui. Any time that the yochid would bring in asham talui, hanasi kiyot sebo. The nasi goes ahead and brings the same idea, right? Sorry, hanasi kiyot sebo. Mashiach u beis din pturin. And I will say normally again the kohen gadol and the beis din will be potter. First wide line. V'chol shu ba'asham. Anytime, ultimately, again, there's an chiv of Asham. So, excuse me, Basham Badai. Nasi Mashiach biyotze bahen. The Nasi and the Mashiach had that halacha. Ubeis din pturim, beis din is pater. Shmias hakol bitui svasayim. Betumas mikdash vekadashav. So we'll say these three cases are kind of always reckoned together. Shmias hakol, which is what we'll call the edus shvua, bitui svasayim, general false oath. Tumas mikdash v'kadash, entry into the Beis Hamikdash or consumption of sacrificial items in a state of tuma. Beis din pturin nasi umashiach chayavin. Elain. So we'll say in this case, Beis din is pater. We actually spoke about that yesterday. Why Beis din is pater in that type of case? Umashiach chayavin. Ela she'ein hanasi chayiv b'shmias hakol. But the nasi, I will say, ultimately again is not chayiv for shmias kol, which will say again has to do with the edus shvua. V'lo Mashiach b'tumas mikdash v'kadashav, and the kohen Mashiach is not chayiv for again tumas mikdash v'kadashav. Kol shu ba'ola v'yoret. Any time I will say that an infraction has a carbon ola v'yoret. Nasi kiyotzebo. So the nasi will have the chiyuv. Mashiach u beis din pturin, and ultimately again the Mashiach and the beis din will be pater. To which the Gemara says, Haguf Akasha. So I'll say that was the klal of Rabbi Shimon. So Rabbi Shimon just tried to go ahead and make principles out. Instead of really getting case specific, he got carbon specific. So there's a problem. Haguf Akasha. Amrit she'ein Mashiach chayiv b'tumas mikdash v'kadasha. You just said before I will say that what? That the Mashiach is not chayiv. When I say the Mashiach, right? The Kohen Mashiach, right? The anointed Kohen is not chayiv, I will say, for tumas mikdash v'kadashav. Betumash mikdash v'kadashav hu depater aval b'shmias kol bitoy sasayim chayiv. So we'll say. So I want to just point something out. If you notice in the Mishnah, the three cases of tumas mikdash v'kadashav, shmias kol, and bitoy sasayim were all mentioned together. They've always been grouped as a unit. That's because ultimately, again, their carbon is a carbon ola v'yoret. So we assumed in general, again, that they're linked together. If you notice over here, I will say that this Gemara just separated them. This Gemara just said as follows. It said that the Kohen Mashiach is not chayiv b'tumas mikdash v'kadashav, which we infer that what? He's not chayiv b'tumas mikdash v'kadashav, but he would be chayiv for shmias kol and bitoy svasayim. Yet, Ema Seifa, yet look at the end, Kol shu ba'ola v'yoret nasi kiyotzebo. So any time that a particular infraction, will say, brings a chiyuv of a carbon ola v'yoret, so the nasi shares that halacha. Mashiach u beis din pturin, right? The Mashiach and the Mashiach, Kohen Mashiach, and the beis din are pater. Katani Mashiach u beis din are pater. So let's say, what do you see from here? You see from here that the Mashiach and the Beis Din are pater, are pater from all of the Mikul and Rabosai, which seems to indicate that what? That halacha lamaisa, they're not only pater on bitui sfasayim, but should also be pater on what? Not only pater on Tumas Mikdash v'Kadashav, but Shmias Kol bitui sfasayim, to which the Gemara says. So I'm sorry. Beis Din sorry, I just lost the place. Let's just go back again. Ema Seifa Kol Shuba Olav Yorei Nasi Kiyotzi Mashiach Beis Din Peturin Katani Mashiach Beis Din Peturin Ma Beis Din Peturin Mikulon Af Mashiach Pater Mikulon. So it's according to the Seifa, it sounds like what? That the Mashiach, ultimately the anointed Kohen, should be pater from everything. So we'll say we have a contradiction. Kashyan Amad Beis Kashyan Hadadi. Ultimately, and both saying they seem to contradict each other. It's not a contradiction. Kan bidalos, kan bidali dalos. Oh, both say listen to this. So look at Rashi for just a moment. Rashi on the right side. So bidali dalos. Mashiach pater mikulu ki dechsev zekarban aron deinacheres bala chova v'hay duka amram the Mashiach hay b'shmias kol bitoy sasayim gom bidalos b'toru b'nei yona shadayin lo bidali dalos. Let's listen to this. So the Gemara says as follows: that when do we say that ultimately again the Mashiach is pater from everything? That means dalai das. Well, remember again, as we've said, and this is really amazing. This is, you see, you never thought you'd get so into these Gemaras, right? But it has like a way of pulling you in to a way that, like mamish, you feel like you're living in the Beis Hamikdash. So remember again, in the carbon Olav spectrum, there's a spectrum. Olav also means that the carbon changes based on your financial status. There's everything from what we call dalai dalus to ashirus. I will say dalai dalus. That carbon is, interestingly enough, that carbon is a minchas chavitin. That carbon is a very simple meal offering. I want to tell you just the great anomaly that the Gemara is struggling with is that same carbon, which was dalai dalus, right? Also, it was brought one other time, which was when? By the Kohen Gadol for his inauguration. That was the minchas chavitin of the Kohen. So remember again, we spent Amud Aleph saying the Kohen Gadol only brought that carbon once during his inauguration, never again. The Gemara now suggests when we say that the Kohen Gadol, when I say Kohen Gadol, I mean Kohen Mashuach, when we say that he's exempt from the carbon Olav Yored, what we mean is the Dalei Dalus. He never brings the lowest carbon, shouldn't say lowest, the most inexpensive carbon. Good morning, Mr. Schoenfeld. Baruch haba, I've been waiting to say it. Been building up for days. Okay, welcome back. So the Gemara says as follows. So therefore, again, the Kohen Gadol doesn't bring the Dalei Dalus carbon. Mr. Schoenfeld, you should know you have an incredible following just on the podcast. You're more popular than I am. I just want to let you know. When you're not here, I get emails. Is Mr. Schoenfeld okay? Everyone all right? So again, the Kohen Gadol doesn't bring the Dalei Dalus carbon. Rabbi say he does bring the one above. So he will bring the tar or the ben yonah, which are the bird offerings, the pigeon offerings, that he will bring. So it says the Gemara, Lokasha kam b'dalus kam b'dalus. Rav Shimon Samalak Rabbi Akiva b'chada u'palik ala b'chada. Rabbi Shimon holds like Rabbi Akiva in one case and argues on Rabbi Akiva in the other case. Samalak Rabbi Akiva b'dalei dalus. He holds like Rabbi Akiva in the case of dalei dalus, right? Namely, again, that the Kohen Gadol will not go ahead and bring the lowest carbon, which is the meal offering, but ultimately again disagrees with him when it comes to dalus, because Rabbi ultimately again Rabbi Akiva will hold that the Kohen Gadol doesn't even go ahead and bring even the one above the most inexpensive level, the tar or ben yonah, whereas Reb Shimon does. Good. Ella shein Kohen Gadol chayiv. Amr Chizkiah. My time to Reb Shimon. So again, remember again, Reb Shimon said in the Mishnah. Reb Shimon said in the Mishnah, Ella shein Kohen Gadol in Ella Kohen Gadol Mashiach chayiv al Tumas Mikdash v'Kadashav. That a Kohen Gadol is not chayiv for Tumas Mikdash v'Kadashav. So says the Gemara, Amr Chizkiah. My time to Reb Shimon. What's Reb Shimon's logic? So says the Gemara, because the pasuk says the nefesh will be cut off from within the nation. Misher karbano shavalakal. We'll say it only applies to who? To someone ultimately again whose carbon is the same as the Kehila's carbon. Look at Rashi for just a moment. We'll say it's right across in Rashi on the right hand side. My time with Reb Shimon. What's Reb Shimon's logic that the Kohen Gadol is not chayiv in Tumas Mikdash v'Kadashav? So Rashi says Dichsev b'Tumas Mikdash v'Kadashav v'Nichtzor nefesh mitoch hakal. Misha karbano shavalakal. Rashi says the miskaper b'shal kal who dichayiv b'Tumas Mikdash v'Kadashav. So Rabbi Shimon Dash is like this: only he who is atoned for with the carbon of the kal, ultimately again is subject to the laws of Tumas Mikdash v'Kadashav. Yotza zeh she'ein karbano shava l'kal. Again, look at Rashi. Yotza Mashiach she'ein karbano shava dein miskaper b'shal kal b'kapar yom kippurim do miskaper b'par v'gam b'sar. So it's like ultimately again the Kohen Gadol does not share the kapara together with the kal. He has his own kapara. But we'll see it in just a moment. Imkain nasinam. So we'll say the Gemara is understanding it over here to refer to Yom Kippur, right? So ultimately again, who achieves kapara for Tumas Mikdash v'Kadashav with the kal? Only he who generally achieves kapara with the kal. Which kapara are we referring to? The kapara of Yom Kippur. The Kohen Gadol does not achieve kapara with the kal. What does that mean? The kal has its kapara on Yom Kippur, and the Kohen Gadol has his kapara on Yom Kippur. Imkein nasi nami. But if that's the case, again, the nasi also doesn't have the same kapara as the kal. We'll say, now what does that mean? Now remember, again, what that refers to in general, we saw in the Mishnah already, that there are certain infractions for which the nasi will bring a sa'ir, and the kal is mechuper with the par. So he's also not mukh, so the nasi should also be excluded, to which the Gemara says, no. So the Gemara says, Yom Kippurim, Shava bekapar Yom Kippurim. We're focusing on Yom Kippur. The Melech Rabbi say is included with the kapara of the Am of Yom Kippur. The Kohen Gadol is not. So the Gemara says, Imkein Kohanim nami lo shavu lekal b'kapar Yom Kippurim. But if that's the case, again, as we said before, the Kohanim are also not shaved to the kal and the kapara of Yom Kippur. Kohanim shavu lekal b'shar mitzvos d'shana kula. So we'll say ultimately again, even though the Kohanim may not have the same kapara as the kal on Yom Kippur, they do share the same quote-unquote mitzvos as the kal for the rest of the year. To which the Gemara says, Mashiach nami hashav b'shar mitzvos d'shana. But if that's the case again, the nasi also shares in the same kapor, the same mitzvos as the kal throughout the year. But take a look at Rashi. Rashi says, Lo kashi b'shon l'garim shav l'kal b'shar mitzvos d'shana kula. The miskapri matzibor b'par haba kal mitzvos hilcha chayim mitzvos mitzvos v'kadashav. So the idea of the Gemara is saying over here is that even if the Kohanim share a different kapara, ultimately again in Yom Kippur, they share in the same general kapara of the kal throughout the year. Say the following: we'll say ultimately again, it is only he who shares this, whose chait is similar to the yechidim, and who is the yechidim that we're referring to? The kal. We'll say, take a look at Rashi. What does this mean? So mitoch hakal. What does it mean? Mitoch. What does it phrase mean when we say in the pasuk mitoch hakal? It means mishachat o shava liyechidim demechayvi b'shegigas ma'asid yechidim. It means who will say is chayv b'tumas mikdash shekadashav? Only he who has the same level of chiv as the individuals, namely that the same way that the yechidim of the kal share liability for shogig, this individual will share a liability for shogig as well. The yechidim shechatu b'shegigas ma'asid ma'aseh ma'isi kolchad uman yechidim kal. Dechikatu kal b'shegas ma'isa l'chudei below helam davar ma'isi kolchad karban da'osan hashav lichidim davar zeu d'mechayim b'tumas mikdash v'kadashav. So I'll say it is only the individual who is similar to the kal. And now when the kal goes ahead and violates an avera b'shogig, they bring a particular type of karban. Only he who brings that same type of karban will be chayav for tumas mikdash v'kadashav. Yotza Mashiach she'ein chet'o shava liyachid. But this ultimately comes to teach us, it comes to exclude the Kohen Mashiach Rabbosai, who when he sins as an individual, does not bring the same carbon as the Yechidim of the cow. Good. Rabbi Lazar Omer Hanasi may be Seir, Amr Rabbi Yochanan, Lo back in the Gemara, Lo Amr Rabbi Eliezer, Ela B'tumas Mikdash V'Kadashav. Rabbi Eliezer Shita Rabbosai is only by Tumas Mikdash V'Kadashav. Why? Hoyil V'ne'emar Kares Bo Kibikabua. Ultimately, again, because the Torah uses Lashon of Kares there, just like with a carbon kavua. Papa says it seems to be clear. Because if you hold it, Rabbi Lazar is really talking about all the cases. Michti, Sayer, Nasir, Upar Mashiach, Bimkom Yochid, Lechatas Koi. Because remember again, the Sir of the Nasi and the power of the Kohen Mashiach essentially are the equivalent of the Chatas for the Yochid. Nisni, Nami Mashiach may be par b'shmias kol u'bitvois v'asayim. Why doesn't the Mishnah also say that the Kohen Mashiach brings a par for shmias kol u'bitvois, which will say are the cases of edus and false oath? Elamid the lo katani Mashiach. Rabbi said the fact that the Mishnah does not include the case of Mashiach, Shmamina atumas mikdash v'kadashav kai. Ultimately, it must be referring to the case of tumas mikdash v'kadashav. So the Gemara says the Mashiach pater. Why? Rabbi said because that's the case with the Mashiach, as you already said before, is pater. Amli Rafun Reid Rav Nasser Papa. Mimai Dilma Rabbi Lazar Kulim kai. Rabbi Lazar said about all the cases. Is referring to all of the cases. Mashiach Savalak Rabbi Akiva, Dabar Mashiach pater b'kulam, and maybe also like Rabbi Akiva. Will say that the Mashiach is pater in all three of those cases. Bitui Shmias Kol, and Tumas Mikdash v'Kadasham. Amrlev Rabbi Akiva mi pater mi par. This right, but yeah, he would say to this. We'll say this Rabbi Akiva ultimately again pattern from the par as well. The Sulo media, and there's nothing more to discuss regarding this particular topic. I'm Rabbi Yochanan. Mod Rabbi Lazar Shein Mevi Asham. We'll say so. Rabbi Yochanan says Rabbi Lazar agrees that he does not go ahead and bring an asham. We'll say now, what does this mean? That he agrees that a nasi does not bring an asham. Excuse me, does not. When he says asham over here, he means an asham talui, right? Does not bring an asham talui on tumas mikdash v'kadashav. Tani Tana Kamid Rav Sheshes asham talui ba al tumas mikdash v'kadashav. But yet again, it was taught before Rav Sheshes that the asham talui does come on tumas mikdash v'kadashav. Amar lei the amar lechamani. Who's opinion does this affect? Rabbi Lazar he the amar hoil v'ne'amar bokaris kibikavua. Since Rabbi said by tumas mikdash v'kadashav, it uses the word kares like a carbon kavua. Therefore, maisi nasi so'ir aleha. Therefore, again, Rabbi said because he uses the lashon of kavua, the nasi will bring the soir. V'amar Rabbi Yochanan molder Rabbi Eliezer shein maybe asham talui. But 1 second. He said before Rabbi Yochanan said before that Rabbi Eliezer holds that you bring in Asham Talui, to which Rabbi said the Gemara ends off by saying Kashya. Hadrin Allah Hora Kohen Mashiach. I will say Mazel Tov. Kohen Mashiach Shechata. I will say a lot to do. Still a lot to do today. Kohen probably at the pace, but Mamish a lot to do. Kohen Mashiach. I will say now again. First of all, in Tremendous Yeshua, we just finished the second parak in Maseches Horayos. So I have good news here. We'll say there is Agarata on the horizon. Emirat Hashem. We might get to a little bit today, but it's going to be Emirat Hashem tomorrow's daf. So again, I'll say just always tie with these karbanos. Understand, it's the same reason when we say karbanos in the morning. So again, when Mekayim, when Neshama Parim Sfasenu, we go ahead and also we have the ability. It says if we're bringing karbanos through the recitation of karbanos, you learn these sugyas. We learn these sugyas. Some are Asham Taloi and the karban and this. Literally, again, it's like we have the ability, at least for a little while, to live in the Beis HaMikdash, to experience a little bit of the karbanos, and to mamish again feel a little bit of glue. That's how you have to look at these gemaras. Koi Mashiach. Let's go weiter. Okay. Koi Mashiach Shechata. We'll say a very interesting case. The anointed Kohen Gadol Shechata, didn't have Avera. Obviously, when we speak about doing an Avera, we're talking about the kind of things that for intentional violation would be a chiyuv kares, unintentional violation would be a chiyuv chatos. And we'll say, what happens? Here's what's interesting. And then he was removed from his post. Again, we'll say, not because of any wrongdoing, whatever it is. He got old, he got sick, he couldn't execute, whatever it is. So we'll say, similarly, if you have a king who commit avera, and we'll say that what's happening over here is these individuals are committing the infraction while in office. Then what happens? They didn't yet have an opportunity to bring their covenant. Now remember, what have we established? That a nasi and a kohen gadol, the king, the melech and a kohen gadol, will say bring specific types of kavanos that are different from a yochid when they commit an avera that is punishable intentionally by kares and unintentionally by a chatos. The case over here is they sinned while in office, didn't have a chance to bring their unique carbon, and then what? Then left office. So we'll say, so now the shaila is what? So what do they bring? To which the Gemara answers, kohen maybe par, but nasi maybe seer. So we'll say again, what it sounds like over here is that they still bring the same karbanos as if they were in office. The kohen brings his par, and the nasi brings his seer. Mashiach shavra mishichasa va'achar kachata v'china nasi shavra migdulasa va'achar kachata. So kohen Mashiach may be par va'nasi kedava. So this what's case number 2. Case number 2 is you have a kohen and a melech who both step down from office. After they step down from office, they then committed the avera, which done intentionally would have been punishable by kares, unintentionally chayiv chatas. So we'll say, so what happens in this case? The kohen apparently, even after he leaves office, and he sins after he left office, still brings a special power of the Kohen. The Melech, however, once he leaves office and he sins, is treated like what? Like a regular person and brings a regular carbon chatos. Hashta, Yeshlom, so says the Gemara, Hashta Yeshlom Avram Mishichaso, top of Yud. Va'achar kach chata maybe par. Chata va'achar kach Avram Mishichaso tzricha l'meimar. So the Gemara asks a simple question. I don't understand. Once you say the second case, then the first case is obvious, silly by a Kohen. Let's analyze the two cases by Kohanim. Case number one was what? Kohen Gadol commits the Avera, doesn't bring the carbon, steps down from office. What does the Mishnah tell me? What does the Mishnah tell me? He still brings the carbon like a Kohen Gadol. So what's the case number two was? He's the Kohen Gadol, steps down, sins. What's the halacha? Still brings the carbon of the Kohen Gadol. Says the Gemara, I don't understand. Just tell me case number two, and then case number one would have been obvious. If the Kohen Gadol, after he steps down, sins, still brings the power of the Kohen Gadol, then it goes without saying that what? That if he sinned while he was Kohen Gadol and then steps down, that it certainly brings the power of Kohen Gadol. So just tell me case number two, and I don't need case number one. To which the Gemara answers, because we'll say the truth is the Gemara says you're right, except that remember we're not just talking about the Kohen Gadol in the Mishnah, we're also talking about the case of Nasi. Excuse me, Kehedyot Maisi. So we'll say ultimately again, because remember the Mishnah also has to teach me the case by the Nasi. And I will say what happens by the Nasi. You see, if the king sins while he's king and didn't bring a carbon before he steps down, so when he steps down, he still brings the carbon like a king. But if he was king and steps down, then sins, then I will say, what's the nature of his carbon? He brings the carbon like a hedyot. So says the Gemara, we needed that second case. We need both cases. We need to highlight the difference in the Nasi. Therefore, again, to which the Gemara says, so we'll say, essentially what the Gemara says is you're right. The Chiddush is not over here by Kohen, because we'll say, really, what principle comes out by the Kohen Gadol? We'll say, what's the principle you get about the Kohen Gadol from the Mishnah? Once a Kohen Gadol, always a Kohen Gadol. That's pretty much it. Once you serve in that capacity, not for everything as we'll see, but at least for this purposes of this sin offering, you maintain that status even after you are no longer functioning in that office. Masha'in came the king. The king apparently is only the king when he's actively functioning as the king. Even though I both say we see that's not totally true, right? I know what you're thinking. You're thinking about last parak. What did we just learn in last parak? That at least according to one opinion, the king is always parted from the Olav Yored. Why? Because of his wealth. So we see, but at least for these purposes over here, you're only considered the king when you are the king. When you step down, you're no longer the king. So we'll say, so again, that's why the Mishnah has to include both cases, not as much for the Kohen Gadol. So really what comes out is as follows. The Kohen Gadol, whether he committed the Avera when he was actively serving as the Kohen Gadol or not as the Kohen Gadol, so the halach is he brings the carbon as if he were the Kohen Gadol. The Melech, if he sins when he's the Melech, even if he did not bring the carbon when he's the Melech, he brings the carbon as if he was the Melech. But if he sinned after he stepped down, then he's treated as a commoner. So the Gemara says, from where do we know this? Rashi says, know what? The Mashiach sha'avar ba'achaka chata may be carbon. We'll say, where do we know that a Kohen Gadol, even after he stepped down from being the Kohen Gadol and he sins, from where do we know that he is still treated as the Kohen Gadol for carbonic purposes, that he brings the carbon of a Kohen Gadol? The Tan Rabbanan was listen to this because we learned v'hikriv al chataso melamed shemevi chataso misha'avar, because we'll say the pasuk says v'hikriv al chataso, he will go ahead and he will bring a carbon. We'll say the context of this pasuk is ima kohen hamashiach yechatel ashma sa'am v'hikriv al chataso shechata par ben bakar tamim la'Hashem lachatas. So we'll say this is the case. The Kohen HaMashiach, the anointed Kohen, the Kohen Gadol, yechta la'ashma sa'am, he will sin. So we'll say, what does the pasuk say? V'hikriv al chataso, he will offer up his chatas. Melamed shemevi chataso misha'avar. We'll say, so what's interesting is as follows. What Gemara's darshaning over here is, he brings this chatas misha'avar, even if he's no longer the Kohen Gadol. So we'll say, what it sounds like over here is, it calls it chataso. So chataso, we'll say, the Gemara's darshaning is, this is his chatas, even if what? Even if he's not the Kohen Gadol. Even if he's no longer actively functioning in his capacity, this is his chatas. So the Gemara says, Shiyachav alodinu, I might have thought as follows, Uman nasi shemevi b'shilgas ma'isa, maybe chataso misha'avar, We'll say, when it comes to the Nasi, and we'll say, by the way, I know what you're thinking. You've been wondering this entire time, why is it that the king is referred to as a Nasi? Don't worry, we're going to talk about that tomorrow in Mirat Hashem, because it is interesting. The Torah itself refers to a melech in both ways, as a Nasi and the melech. We're going to see some incredible insights about that. In any event, so there's man Nasi, maybe b'shiggas ma'isa. So when it comes to a Nasi, shemaybe b'shiggas ma'isa. We'll say, now remember again, the Nasi goes ahead and brings his carbon, even b'shiggas ma'isa, even b'shogeg, ein maybe chataso misha'avar. Yet I will say, what's the halacha? The halacha is that the Nasi does not bring his unique carbon if what I will say, if halacha l'maisi is already stepped down. So meaning if the king is no longer the active king and he commits the avera, he does not go ahead and bring the carbon of a king, but rather it brings the carbon of a hedyot. Yet I will say again, and remember, for a king to bring his general carbon, I will say, what do you need? Shigas maisa. That he acted accidentally. Okay, watch this. So Mashiach she'in maybe b'shigas maisa. Ella al ha'elam davar im shigagas ma'isa l'kol shekein. So we'll say the Mashiach, will say the Kohen Mashiach, in order for him to bring his unique carbon, will say he needs two things. Number one, we spoke about this already. Shigagas ma'isa, that's to be an accident, but accident is not enough. Helam davar. We'll say helam davar means. See, we'll say sometimes a person could do something by accident. I turn on a light on Shabbos by accident. So what does that mean? What did I do? So it's not the pshat that I thought that what I was doing was correct. I forgot. I forgot. Whatever the circumstances are. In order for the Kohen Gadol to bring his unique power, for accidental violation of an Avera, you require two things. Number one, it's an accident. But number two, Helam Davar. He didn't know the halacha. He thought that what he was doing ultimately, again, was correct. So lo kol shekin. So what the Gemara is saying is as follows. I might have thought that the king who brings his carbon for much less, he only needs shiggas maisa. He doesn't need helam davar. Yet again, halacha lemaisa. Once he's no longer king, he brings the carbon of a commoner. I might have thought again that the Kohen Gadol should have the same halacha, because the Kohen Gadol should be even more chamer. He needs helam davar and shiggas maisa. I might have therefore thought that once he's no longer the Kohen Gadol, he brings the carbon of a commoner, not of a Kohen Gadol. Therefore, again, Talmud Lomar vehikriv al chataso. Therefore, the pasuk says the Kohen Gadol brings his chatas. Malamid shemevi al chataso misha avar. Bose teaches us that what chataso bose means that the Kohen is tethered to this carbon, which means this is forever the carbon he brings should he commit an inadvertent act, even if he is no longer functioning in the official capacity as Kohen Gadol. As it says the Gemara, v'nesi nami nasi mikal b'chomer. Well, bose, let's flip that around. Then maybe we should make a kal b'chomer, and that kal b'chomer should result in saying what? In teaching me that even the nasi should go ahead and bring the king's carbon even after he stepped down. What's the kal b'chomer Rabbi saying? Uma Mashiach she'in maybe b'shigagas ma'isa, maybe chatas misha'avar. We'll say if it comes ultimately again to the Mashiach, the Kohen Gadol, who brings she'in maybe b'shiggas ma'isa, maybe chatas. I'm sorry, she'in maybe b'shiggas ma'isa. We'll say the Mashiach, if all there is the shogeg, but not the helam davar, he doesn't bring his carbon. Yet maybe chatas misha'avar. Yet Rabbi say he brings the Kohen Gadol chatas even after he's no longer the functioning Kohen Gadol. Nasi she'maybe chatas b'shiggas ma'isa. If the Nasi ultimately brings his chatas b'shiggas ma'isa, Eino din she'maybe chatas misha'avar. Certainly, what Rabbi say should bring his chatas ultimately again, even when he is no longer the king. Talmud Lomar asher Nasi yechta. Therefore, we'll say the pasuk teaches me that what? Asher Nasi yechta, we'll say, which means that what? Oh, if the Nasi will sin, kishehu Nasi in, kishehu hedyot lo. We'll say ultimately again, when he is the Nasi, that is when he sins. When he is the Nasi, that is when he brings his unique carbon. But when he is no longer the Nasi, when he is in hedyot, he does not. So both say. So therefore, again, bottom line, halacha l'maisa, the takeaway from this sugya is as follows: the Kohen Mashiach, we'll say the Kohen Gadol, will always bring his unique power, even when he is no longer functioning in the official capacity as Kohen Gadol. Right? So again, I will say, and that's independent of when the sin occurred. If the sin occurred when he was Kohen Gadol, if the sin didn't occur when he was Kohen Gadol, once he has the status of Kohen Gadol, he is always afforded that status. Now we will see other ramifications of that, conferment of that status. We'll discuss that. As opposed to the melech The Melech only brings his unique carbon when Rabbi saying when he is the Melech. Now, the exception to that rule, to a certain degree, is if he sinned as the Melech, didn't get to bring the carbon yet, and then steps down from office, then Rabbi say he still brings that carbon of a Melech. But once he no longer has the status of a Melech and sins, then haloch lamais again, he brings the carbon of the head. All right, we'll stop over here, and we'll pick up middle of Yud Amud Aleph tomorrow in your session.